ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ तपोभिः क्षीणपापानां शान्तानां वीतरागिणां मुमुक्षूणामपेक्ष्योऽयम् आत्मबोधो विधीयते। Yeah. Okay, let's chant from 26. Atmano vikriya nasti. Atmano vikriya nasti.
आत्मनो विक्रिया नास्ति।
Buddhir-bodho न जात्विति।
बुद्धो बोधो न जात्विति।
जीवः सर्वमलं ज्ञात्वा
जीवः सर्वमलं ज्ञात्वा
ज्ञाता द्रष्टेति मुह्यति।
ज्ञाता द्रष्टेति मुह्यति।
रज्जुसर्पवदात्मानं
रज्जुसर्पवदात्मानं
जीवं ज्ञात्वा भयं वहेत्।
जीवं ज्ञात्वा भयं वहेत्।
नाहं जीवः परात्मेति
नाहं जीवः परात्मेति
ज्ञातश्चेन्निर्भयो भवेत्।
ज्ञातश्चेन्निर्भयो भवेत्।
आत्मावभासयत्येकः
आत्मावभासयत्येकः
बुद्ध्यादीनिन्द्रियाण्यपि
बुद्ध्यादीन् इन्द्रियाणपि
दीपो घटदिवत् स्वात्मा
दीपो घटद्रिवास्मात्मा
जडैस्तैर्नावभास्यते।
जडैस्तैर्नावभास्यते।
स्वबोधे नान्यबोधेच्छा
स्वबोधे नान्यबोधे च
बोधरूपतयात्मनः।
बोधरूपतयात्मनः।
न दीपस्यान्यदीपेच्छा
न दीपस्यान्यदीपे च
यथा स्वात्मप्रकाशने।
यथा स्व स्व स्वात्मा प्रकाशने।
निषिध्य निखिलोपाधीन्
निषिध्य निखिलोपादीन्
नेति नेतीति वाक्यतः।
नेति नेतीति वाक्यतः।
विद्यादैक्यं महावाक्यैः
विद्यादैक्यं महावाक्यैः
जीवात्मपरमात्मनोः
जीवात्मपरमात्मनोः.
Okay, pause with that. So in the last shloka, we saw this Brihat Vakyam, Neti Neti. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya is not only composing, but in the process bringing in the important Vakyams from the Upanishads. Like Tattvamasi is a Vakyam, here also Neti Neti. And in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, again, it appears several times. Neti Neti. So what is the meaning of that Neti was said here? Nishidhya Nikhilopadin. We saw that last time. And see, he's saying how you should use the Mahavakyas. Mahavakyaihi Neti Neti iti. So many Mahavakyas are there. Whenever I encounter them, I am supposed to do this. I'm supposed to look at the whole world, any object for that matter. What is world? You don't have to need a telescope to look at the universe. Hey, the world means what I'm confronting is the world. And Neti, Neti, it's not me, it's not me. Well, I already know that so many things are not me, but the body, etc., that is where the problem starts. And so the body is not me. Periodically, I have to tell myself, okay, remind myself. But how do I remind myself? Simply reminding myself that I'm not the body, will it do the job means? Our Tikakara, Tikakara says, he concludes that shloka's commentary, and you know what he says? He's telling, it's stated nicely in one sentence. Shankaracharya says, you simply negate all the upadhis, nikhila upadhin nishidhya, he says. But the way to do that is like this. Okay, let's see this. Okay, what he says. Ayam bhavaha, sopana kramena. Ayam bhavaha. Ayam bhavaha means this whole nishidhya, upadhis, negate all the upadhis as names and forms, including the body, and na iti, all the panchakoshas, everything has to be negated, no? Sopana kramena kartavyam. So he says, do it in a gradual manner. Sopana means ladder. So in a gradual manner you do. And can you explain what that gradual manner is? Yes. Okay. Sad asad vivekadi sadhana sampatti purvakam. Don't write this down. It is there in the tika. He says, hey, first you must have what is called atma anatma viveka. So adhikaritvam. He's starting from adhikaritvam. Hey, appreciate first that there is the atma which is different from anatma. And that is how I am going to connect to this atma. Then he says, Sadgurum Upagamya. Then approach a guru. That Sopana Kramena, he's telling all that. Sadgurum Upagamya. Having approached a guru. Sadguru. Okay. Sadguru. Right? Keep that in mind. Samyak Shushrushadi Santushtasya Tasya. Hey, this guy that we approach, or person whom we approach, Sushrusati Santushtasya. You make him happy by doing some seva and all, like that he's saying here. And because they have to teach, and they also should be happy. They can't be sad and come to class and then Mahavakya won't work. Aham Brahmasmi, Shastram says Aham Brahmasmi, and Aham includes you also. Therefore, you Twamapi Brahma Asti, or not Asti also, Asi. This guy has to, all the Sanskrit has to come properly also, and all the Asti, Santi, and all problems will be there. And so, everything should come properly for him. And for that, that person must be happy, it seems. So, Shushrutadi Santushtasya. All right. Mukhatah मुखतः तत्त्वमस्यादि महावाक्य श्रवणम ए मुखतः तस्य मुखतः ए from that person whom you approached, and then from that person the teaching should come. And what kind of teaching? Tattvamasya mahavakya shravanam. Hey, that tatvamasi ityadi vakya shravanam. So that shravanam is so important, he says. One has to listen to it, because the conditioning can be removed only by the deconditioning which happens through listening. Reading and all won't work. Reading a book will not work. You go to any of our Swamis and say, I have read all these books by Eknath Ishwaran and all the Ramakrishna Mission publication books and all I read. If you say, they will just not respond to that statement, because they're waiting for you to talk some more. All you have to do is talk a few more sentences before they figure out what you know. They'll say, very good, very good. Like that, they can say. Because when I read a book, what will happen is, I have a mindset. I'm going to interpret all the sentences based on my mindset only. Because I have to process every word as it comes. Otherwise, it can't move. And rarely a person will say, I don't understand this. I have to ask somebody. If you can say that, that is good. That's why they generally want advice reading. Patanam is not there. Shravanam only they will say. Anyway, so he says, Shravanam tadvara padadvaya shodhana purvakam. Padadvaya shodhana purvakam. Then finally I'll come to a point where this Tattvamasi has been told. Tat and Tvam have been both unfolded, and then Shodhana Purvakam. Shodhana Purvakam. Somewhere we saw it here itself, I think. Shodhana Purvakam. Okay, in Viveka Chudamani we saw it. Okay. Shloka number 74. Very interesting. So Tattvam Padabhyam Abhidhiyamanayoho. Hey, this Tat and Tvam Pada. Okay. And Brahmatmanoho Shodhitayoho, like that Shankara says there. So that Brahma and Atma are there. Two different words. Ishvara and Jiva are there. Two different words, two different entities completely. One is Karanam, another is Karyam. One is cause, another is effect. I am an effect. I am a product. And you are supposed to equate these two. So that's why Shodhitayoho means properly understood. Everything properly understood. Then cleaning up Ishvara means what? Removing the upadhi of Ishvara, and then cleaning up the Jiva and removing the upadhi of Jiva. What will be left is Atma. Like that we saw. And so Brahmatmanoho Shodhitayoho here. Then doubts will be there. Mananam tad tadvara Shodhitayoho Aikya Jnana. Avidya Dardhyaya. This print is very hard to read. It's an old print, I think. Aikyajnana Dardhyaya. Hey, then make sure you understand it properly. Then you think about it every day. You do Nididhyasanam, you do Mananam every day. Then it will become Dridam. Dridam means firm. The knowledge is firm. Nishtha will be there. So, Nishtha Jnanena Chira Nirantara Nididhyasanam Chakritva. So after I figure it all out, what else to do? Nididhyasanam Kritva. Keep at it. Keep at it. Okay, Dhyanam Kritva. Swam Akhanda, etc. It says Brahmatvena Vijaniyat. Akhanda Satya Jnana Ananda Lakshanam Brahmatvena. Hey, this Satchidatma, Satchidanandam, Atma is there. And then that Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Akhandam, Brahma is there. There is no difference between these two at all. There cannot be any difference. Like that, Vijaniyat. Like that, he concludes this tika. And so periodically we can remind ourselves of that. Good. So when I was reading it, I felt that's a good summary of our journey, So I thought we will just read that. Good. Let's see the next one. Sloka number 31.
Guruji, we didn't translate this sloka.
Oh, this shloka has to be translated also. For 30th, not translated. All right. Let's see here. Very good. After negating the body, mind, and senses, after negating the body, mind, and senses, with the teaching, neti neti hyphen, I am not this. I am not this. With the teaching neti neti, I am not this. Using the Mahavakyas, one should recognize the oneness. One should recognize the oneness of one's consciousness and Brahma. One should recognize the oneness of one's consciousness and Brahma or Brahman. After negating the body, mind, and senses with the teaching neti neti, I am not this. Using the Mahavakyas, one should recognize the oneness of one's consciousness or self also is fine, and Brahman. Or Jiva and Ishvara, that also is fine. Good. Next shloka. Āvidyakaṃ śarīrādi
āvidyakaṃ śarīrādi
dṛśyaṃ budbudavatkṣaram
dṛśyaṃ budbudavatkṣaram
etadvilakṣaṇaṃ vidyāt
etadvilakṣaṇaṃ vidyādahaṃ
aham brahmeti nirmalam.
aham brahmeti nirmalam.
Āvidyakaṃ śarīrādi
āvidyakaṃ śarīrādi
drishyam budbudavatkṣaram
dṛśyaṃ budbudavatkṣaram
etadvilakṣaṇaṃ vidyāt
etadvilakṣaṇaṃ vidyādahaṃ
aham brahmeti nirmalam.
aham brahmeti nirmalam.
Yeah. So that Nikhila Upadin, which he mentioned in the previous shloka, all the upadis, whatever that I have taken as myself, it starts with anything that I possess, all my family, wealth, everything starts. It's a huge thing. It's a huge thing which I consider as I, including my country also. Country goes all the way up, and the good news is if my I becomes bigger that way towards the country and so forth, then my ego will drop. Then what will happen is I will be less obsessed about my own family, my own this thing, possessions, my own body and all that. Okay, less obsessed about all that. So that's why that connection with the whole so is important. And the more I connect with everything else, it has the opposite effect. It has the opposite effect, right? So my attachment to myself, I, me, myself will reduce. And so here, that Nikhila Upadin, he is now zoning in on śarīrādi. śarīrādi. There Nikhila Upadi, here śarīrādi. And he says, this śarīrādi is drishyam. Drishyam. A very important idea. That is how this Viveka starts, Somewhere somebody said, you are not your body. And it should hit us. And what do you mean by that? That is what he's saying here. You are not your body. You're somebody other than the body. Your body and the tree are no different. Like that, if somebody says, are we going to be taken aback or what? There is some difference between the tree and the body. There's a lot of difference, but there is a lot of similarity also. Like that, if somebody says, that's what he's saying. Hey, the tree is dṛśyaṃ. Okay, the tree out there is dṛśyaṃ, and which is moving away from me because I'm sitting in a car and moving. Tree is gone. That tree is dṛśyaṃ. And this body, even though it's coming with me wherever I'm going, it is also dṛśyaṃ category only. Dṛśyaṃ category. It is an object. It is an object of, shall we say, perception. Object of perception, we can say for now. It's an entity that is perceived by me. It is something that is becoming evident to me. An object that becomes evident to me. That is what dṛśyaṃ is, really. Literally, dṛśyaṃ means a seen object, a seen object. But here in Vedanta, seen object means heard object, touched object, smelt object, whatever, tasted object, or thought of object. Correct? Thought of. That also is an object. You think of all the past, the teachers and principles and everything that who taught you, they don't exist today. They don't exist today. They're all gone. They did their job, they went away. But they are there in my mind. Okay, that is also dṛśyaṃ. That is also dṛśyaṃ. Everything is dṛśyaṃ. So he says, it's a dṛśyaṃ, it's an object or it's an experience. It's an object of experience. Okay. And what are those? They're all this śarīrādi. śarīrādi dṛśyaṃ. Tikakara gives a very nice śarīrādi. Śarīra means body, And then etc. means now he's giving us some room. You fill up the rest. So fill up the rest. Rest, of course, I already filled up. All the trees, houses, this vehicles, other people, everything is Adi. Everything is Adi. And then after filling up all that, Samashti, sun is also there in the Adi. Samashti is all filled up. The entire space is filled up. And all galaxies filled up. But then have you come closer? Outside it's okay. What about closer? Body, Shariram, Sthula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, Karana Shariram, everything. All the tools I am using that make me a human being, including my buddhi, everything included śarīrādi. Obviously, that's what it means here. śarīrādi. And all that is āvidyakaṃ, he says. Avidyakaṃ means avidya avidyakalpitam. It is a product of avidya. Product of avidya means what? It means, first of all, you look at the body itself. How did the body get generated? What caused this body to come about? What caused this body to be born to a certain set of parents? All this, if you look at, our answer is very straightforward. Straightforward. Without blinking your eyelid, you can say it is due to karma. It is whose karma? My karma also, and my parents' karma also. They have to connect somehow. They have to connect. They deserved me and I deserved them. How about that? And this is not some random occurrence. It's not random and all that. Karma. All right, let's say my karma, because I am born, if I say it's my karma only. And then my karma means who created that karma? I only created that karma. It was a karma that was created by me, or rather karma phalam. I did something and the result of that is that karma phalam. Okay, then what about the previous janma when I did karma? Yeah, the previous janma also same argument has to come. And another same argument for the janma before that and a janma before that. It's going on and on. Why it's going on and on? Because when I don't know myself, I am going to be stuck in the artha, kama and dharma framework in prayers. Shreyascha manushyametah. So I am constantly in prayers. Prayers is like this rat running on that wheel. They have this nice little thing. It keeps on climbing the ladder. And it keeps climbing, and it thinks it's climbing, but then this wheel is constantly rotating. Nothing happens. Rat is there exactly where it is. This is what I am reminded of. So I'm just taking on different bodies, different experiences, and I continue to be an experience hunter at the end of all of this. I want sukham, I want sukham, I want sukham. Okay, then what? For which I have to make an effort to get that sukham. This is all I know. And so, that avidya janakam, avidya janyam, āvidyakaṃ. The śarīrādi is avidya janyam. It is a product of avidya. This is the greatest revelation of Advaita Vedanta. And therefore he says, please understand that the śarīrādi is avidya janyam, and which is drishyam. Drishyam you can figure out, because I am the object. Body is an object. Body is not conscious of anything. Sense organs also not conscious of anything. They are given the particular attribute of doing a particular job. But they are not conscious of what they see. The eye doesn't know it is seeing all these things. The ear doesn't know it is hearing all these people. No, it doesn't know. Nothing. Nothing. Then there has to be a mind. Mind also doesn't know. Please make a note here. Mind also doesn't know what it. Mind cannot say I am smart. There is somebody else behind the mind that says I am smart. I am smart. Because he has no choice. But somehow he has to attach himself to the mind and the body and all the accomplishments and everything else and say I am smart, I am rich, I am this and that. Everything goes on and on. I have to latch on to something. And so that latching on is happening. And so that is all āvidyakaṃ. It's all avidyajanyam. Because if I get stuck to my own ahankara and my own accomplishments, then I am going to miss out on this huge Tattvamasi Mahavakyam. It will be completely missed out. And so, budbudavatkṣaram, he says, hey, this śarīrādi is ksharam. Budbudavat. Ksharam, I think you know this very well. Ksharam. Ksharam is fleeting, impermanent, perishable. You can translate whichever way you want. So it's all perishable. If you have a conversation with a friend or somebody, and somebody asks you, our son or daughter, our children are all very intelligent. I believe in that. Until we spoil their minds. This I always tell people. And suppose, Amma, what happened? Mama, we are all going to die, no? Suppose this 10-year-old boy asked this question. We are all going to die, correct? What will you say? No, don't ask all that. It's all inauspicious to talk about all that. During dinner and all, you should not talk all these things. Is that what we will say? I don't know. I don't know what parents, I don't know what you all will do. But if I might say like that only. Because this is what I heard. You can't talk about all these things. On the other hand, if the boy were told, how did you get that idea, my dear son? But what makes you say all these things? And then you make the fellow think, make the person think a little bit more. Yeah, this is, they're all there, but the dog is dying, the cat is dying, our relatives, my grandfather is gone just 2 weeks back. Like this, he starts talking. Yeah, really? And then just because grandfather died, everybody is going to die? How do you know? Let him think like that. Make him think like that. Then he will come back and say, yes, he will answer the question, his own question. My God, everybody is going to die, ma. What? Anytime also we will die? Is that what it is? Or we will die only when we are 70, 80, 90 years old, like my grandpa and grandma? Let him think. Let him think. And so that is how a person really gets most out of life, really speaking, I feel. Then we can live a life properly and make our life meaningful. And, but we live as though we are permanent, and we have to secure that permanency also. Let's do whatever it takes, life insurance, this security, everything is there. Yeah, do whatever you have to do. But behind, what is the security meant for? For me to study Vedanta or not? That's how finally we should come. After retirement and all, what will you do? So, important to keep in mind, not retirement, long before retirement, long before middle age crisis comes. If we have that grounding, then that person will reach the goal, will find that goal. And otherwise, this ksharatvam is out the door, And 10 years ago, just go back 10 years. 10 years ago itself, I'm unable to imagine. If you go back, the cell phone I used is obsolete. And the people who I knew, some of them are gone. Even though they were healthy and young, they're gone today. Gone just like that. Then I push back to 100 years. 100 years, 1926, Mahatma Gandhi was there. Subhash Chandra Bose and Mahatma Gandhi had an argument. Mahatma Gandhi said non-violence. Subhash Chandra Bose said we have to get weapons. This is not the way to fight a war. Non-violence and all that. And they disagreed. They agreed to disagree, and they went away two different directions. He went on to talk to Britain and Russia and wanted their help to get weapons into India. And he started this Indian National Army. Mahatma Gandhi is there here. And Subhash Chandra Bose is there here. This is going on 100 years ago. And today, Statue of Unity is all that is available. Subhash Chandra Bose. Or Sardar Patel. Sorry, that was Sardar Patel. Okay, another great man. So these great people were there those days. It's 100 years ago. They're all gone. What about 500 years ago, 1000 years ago? Rajaraja Chola was there here. 500 years ago, Vijayanagaram Empire was there in Karnataka. Big temples monuments were built. Ministers and soldiers were all over the place. And building temples is not easy. Imagine building the Brihadishwara temple today. Is it possible? They are building skyscrapers. But who constructs a temple like that? Meaningless. This fellow must have, Rajaraja Chola must be a crackpot, I think. He built a big temple. At least if he had built a big building, we would be all working in the building, right? It would be useful for somebody, right? That's what our children are made to think from all these books. Anyway, that thing is going on. Imagine constructing this temple without any equipment. I don't know how this 80-ton ball of stone went up. How many stories that is? 60 stories or some huge. It's a very tall temple, And the elephants must be there. 3-mile long incline they constructed all the way to the top. And it must be the sight of the day. People must be talking about it 1,000 years back without any social media and all that. Like this, you keep going on. 10,000 years back, they say agriculture began. I don't know how they figure out all these things. I have my own doubts about all this. I don't believe all this. We Indians have to come back and relook at all this. Why I say Indians? Because we are the fellows who are stuck with all these things. We are studying Mahavakya and all Upanishad, and nobody can date all these things. Only we will know what history really is. Really, everybody is looking at with an agenda. So 10,000 years ago, agriculture itself was, and there are that time, who knows what was there. They say there are no temples, no cities, no this, no that. Okay. Gone. Today we think we are all permanent. They also thought they were permanent. Rajaraja Chola people think they were all impermanent and all that. No, we are the architects of the universe. We are the architects. And Rajaraja Chola sent ships and ships loads of scholars and panditas and architects all the way to Malaysia and Indonesia and all. You hear all these things, I said, wow, what a thing it was. Of course, they probably thought they were not permanent. That's why they were establishing all these things. After we are gone, people should know that we lived. Maybe. And million years. 66 million years ago, dinosaurs lived. If the dinosaurs had thought, this world belongs to us, like that, if they had thought, we can't blame them. Because today we also think the same thing. This world belongs to us only, obviously. Really speaking, we belong to the world. No, gone. The world belongs to us for us to explore and enjoy. This kind of thinking is wrong thinking. That's what Shankara is indicating, I suppose. Why? Budbudavatkṣaram, budbudavat, like the bubble that is just appearing beautiful, suddenly patak, gone. Budbudavatkṣaram. Because the time scales are like this. Hey, dinosaurs lived someday. And that is 66 million years ago. I don't know why I picked the 66. I don't know why I said 60. Somewhere I heard it. So I keep on saying it. Some 100 million years ago, 50 million years ago. All right. And so if you keep going up like this in time scale, you will find that I'm just a small speck. And I better use my day properly. Correct? I better use the day properly. Better figure out what my goal is. Otherwise, what God knows what will happen. So like that. And so, budbudavat. And by the way, this budbuda and all we saw somewhere.
8th shloka.
8th shloka is there. Upadhane khiladare. Okay, we saw it. Their context was a little different. Let's look at it once again. Where is it? So in 8th shloka, upadane khiladare jaganti parameshware sargasthiti layan yanti budbudani varini. There the context is the context of Ishvara, Paramatmani. Okay, Parameshware Jaganti. Sargasthiti Layan Yanti. The whole world is resting on Ishvara like a bubble. That is what he's saying there. He's giving us a shock treatment much later. Whichever shocks you more, whether the world is a bubble or you are a bubble, you decide which shocks you more. So like that he had said there, Budbudani iva. And here budbudavat iva, same thing, same meaning. Ksharam. And so what? So now what should I do about all these things? Etadvilakṣaṇaṃ vidyāt. Etadvilakṣaṇaṃ is a samasa. Aham brahmeti nirmalam. Okay, then who am I? Am I a bubble or what? If you take yourself to the body, of course the body is a bubble. The boy himself understood. 10-year-old boy said, are we all going to die? He said. And so body is a bubble. You can't build something based on this particular upadhi that is going to live 50 years, 100 years maximum. That can't be my ashraya. It's not possible. I have to use it for something else. So he says vidyāt, use it for knowing. Vidyāt, may something be known. May an important fact be known. Vidyāt, vijaniyāt. What should I know? What should one know? I have to know that aham brahma iti. Again, that same Mahavakya has come. Tattvamasi over. Teacher has said Tattvamasi. The student must not say Tattvamasi. Because otherwise student will be pointing to Guru and say Tattvamasi. Hey, no. Guru only told me Tattvamasi. So now I have to say Aham Brahmasmi. Okay, Tattvamasi I understand. Therefore I am Brahma. Like that the student has to respond to the teacher. And so that's what he's saying here. Aham Brahma iti vidyāt. That's how we have to connect. Aham Brahma iti vidyāt. May one know that aham is Brahma and what not the body, etc. Śarīrādi, drishyam. Okay, not that. That's what he's saying here. Etadvilakṣaṇaṃ vidyāt. Etadvilakṣaṇaṃ means etad, which I told you, the big list of things I said about Sharira. Sharira Trayam is there. Panchakosham is there. Kosha Panchakam is there. All that is there. Etadvilakṣaṇaṃ. Vilakṣaṇaṃ means bhinnam. Bhinnam, distinct, different from all of this. Different from body. I am somebody who is different from the body. I can't be the body. Why I can't be the body? Because I know very clearly, I am a conscious being. What about the body? Body is not conscious. Body is not conscious of anything, really speaking. Definitely body is not conscious of me. I am conscious of the body. Right there, the vilakṣanatvam comes out. So etadvilakṣaṇaṃ means all this sthula sharire, sthula sukshma karana sharirebhyaha vilakṣaṇaṃ.
We saw Vilakṣaṇaṃ in 18th verse also.
18th. Okay. Yeah. Correct. Dehendriya mano buddhi prakritibhyo vilakṣaṇaṃ. That is the meaning of etadvilakṣaṇaṃ. Deha indriya mano buddhi prakritibhyaha. Means Deha, Indriya, Mano, Buddhi is there and Prakriti he brings, because using this body I have accomplished a lot, and so that my resume is big. My resume doesn't stop with my body. All my accomplishments are there. All my accomplishments. And when I do the puja also, we have to bring in the entire Gotra and all the family. Everything comes. That family also is me now. It's a huge family. It is network. And so Prakriti Bhyaha. That is Prakriti. It's our entire samuha. It's all there. One person is never one person. We are never an isolated being. And so, vilakshanam, distinct from all of that, is this aham brahma iti. Distinct. So distinct. If he says ksharam, then who am I? I have to be aksharam, obviously. I have to be aksharam. Distinct means aksharam. It can't be ksharam. It can't be perishable. It has to be imperishable. Ksharam. Aksharam. Sorry. We are studying Mundaka Upanishad, and there, Mundaka Upanishad, the Upanishad refers to Brahma by one word, and that word is aksharam. That's it. That word aksharam. Because earlier the teacher had said, there also the teacher is talking about dve vidye veditavye. Yama says shreyascha preyascha manushya metaha, he says, but here dve vidye veditavye. Because the student asked the question, kasminnu bhagavo vijñāte sarvamidam vijñātam bhavati iti. Tell me that knowing which everything else is known. So he's talking about knowledge there. So he said, okay, there are two kinds of knowledge. One is called aparavidya, another is called paravidya. Like that he says. Then he lists aparavidya. And if you hear this, it's a bit shocking. Aparavidya is all sciences, every knowledge of anything that you know and I have studied so far is all aparavidya only. Including AI, ML. All right. I have to bring that in periodically because now the boys and girls are saying, what are you studying? AI, ML. I feel good about it. That means they are in the know, you know. They know what's all happening. And but then the Upanishad doesn't list AI, ML and all. You know what it says? It says Rig Vedo, Yajur Vedo, Sama Vedo, Tharvanaha. I said, my God, I thought Veda was the thing. And that must be Paravidya. And he puts Veda in the Aparavidya category. I said, my God, this is something else. All along, I had a big view of Veda. And the Veda itself, Satyanash ho gaya with this. And then he says, Paravidya ka. What is this Paravidya? Yaya tadaksharam adhigamyate. That's it. One word, one sentence. Yaya vidyaya. Tadaksharam adhigamyate. That which will reveal to you aksharam, that is Paravidya. He doesn't give name, book and science and all, nothing. No name is given. Paravidya means that which reveals to you aksharam. And here he says, aham aksharam iti vidyāt. There also, of course, Upanishad has to say that. Okay, aksharam iti vidyāt. And in Bhagavad Gita also we saw this aksharam and all. Dvavimau purushau loke ksharascha kshara evacha ksharas sarvani bhutani. Ksharaha sarvani bhutani. Anything that is panchabhautikam, anything that is a product, anything that is made up, including my thought, is also made up. And so that is called ksharam.
Aksharam Brahma Paramam.
Aksharam Brahma Paramam. Swabhavodhyatmam uchyate. I think that's how it goes. Aksharam Brahma Paramam. It's 8th chapter, I think it is. So 8.2 or 8.3 or something. Bhagavan, Sri Bhagavan Vacha. He says Aksharam Brahma Paramam. Same thing here also. Aham Brahma iti Aksharam iti vidyāt. Because there Arjuna is asking in the 8th chapter, Kim tad Brahma kim adhyatmam. Then Adhidaivam kim kotra, etc. He says. He's giving a list of 7-8 questions starting from Brahma. What is Brahma? What is Adhyatma? What is Adhidaivam? What is Adhibhutam? Etc. He's asking. And so short answer given by Sri Krishna. So Aksharam Brahma Paramam. So that Brahma is that which is imperishable. The only thing that is imperishable is Aksharam Brahma. And Mandukya, whenever you bring this Aksharam, Mandukya has to be brought in. We have not studied it yet. First mantra, Omityetadaksharam idam sarvam tasya upavyakyanam. Om iti. There, Mandikya uses the word Om to refer to Brahma and refer to Aksharam. Om iti. And then the Mandukya Upanishad will explain what this Omkara is. How will it explain? A. Om is A, U, Ma. Akara, Ukara, Makara. This Akara is the Jagrad Avastha. Ukara is the Swapna Avastha. And Makara is the Sushupti Avastha. Then what is this? What is Om? That is all. That is the entire universe is Om. But there is something called Turiya Avastha. It is Om refers to actually something other than these three. Other than these three. That is called the Turiya Avastha. What is other than these three? Hey, that is Om etadvilakṣaṇaṃ sarvam idam atasya upavyākyanam bhutam bhavat bhavishyaditi sarvam omkaraha eva. Okay, he's putting it like that. Hey, everything that was there in the past, what is there in the present, what will be in the future is all omkara only. Like that he starts. Not the vilakṣaṇaṃ, but gentle. The entire universe is omkara. Yachanya trikalatītam tadapi omkaraha eva. Hey, past, present, future, I told you. If you can come up with something else, then that also is omkara. No, I can think of something other than past, present, and future. Okay, you can welcome to think about it. That also is omkara. Like that, Upanishad leaves, and then it talks about that particular Brahma called as omkara. Like that, beautiful teaching is there. So there, āvidyakaṃ Upanishad says that. So these are things we can connect with. And then, so that is Brahma, aham Brahma iti. Vinirmalam or nirmalam. Listen, Brahma is nirmalam. It is not, it is not drishyam. So it has to be adrishyam. That same Upanishad is going to say drishyam agrahyam. Somewhere else. Agotram avarnam comes. But the Upanishad there will say adreshyam avyavaharyam. Then
Seventh mandala Mandukya.
Seventh. Avyavaharyam agrahyam alakṣaṇam achintyam avyapadeshyam ekatma pratyasaram prapanchopashamam shivam shantam shivam advaitam chaturtam manyante sa atma sa vignyayaha. Sa atma sa vignyayaha. That atma which is omkaraha, which is aksharam sa vignyayaha vidyāt. Vignayaha. Same meaning. That has to be known. That is the goal of life. Like that. There also it says. And so here he says, nirmalam. Nirmalam we saw. Fifth shloka you look up in Atmabodha. Fifth. Ajnana kalusham jivam. Okay. Jnana bhyasat vinirmalam. So Shankara already introduced that idea. Kritva jnanam swayam nashet jalam katakarenuvat. Okay, we saw that vinirmalam there. And 24th shloka also I found one more, that vinirmalam is there. Prakashor kasyato yasya shaityam agneryatoshnata swabhavas sachidananda nitya nirmalatatmanaha. So there also that nirmalata was brought out. Nirmalata means what? Means pure. Generally it means free from any impurities. Free from impurities. If somebody says you can only think of pure water, is this pure water? Is it drinkable water? That is what comes to mind. Pure. All the things that we use in our kitchen, we want it to be pure, means unadulterated. Because these days anything is possible. Turmeric adulterated, anything is possible. So we want to buy the best. These days good products are available, no doubt. And so that is what comes to our mind when somebody says nirmalam. But you got to go beyond that. Nirmalam means malarahitam. What is malam? Everything that I have attributed to myself, that is expressed through me. So all the Raga dvesha. Likes and dislikes. My whole life is just my likes and dislikes manifesting. Punyam papam I have, I say. Okay, Atma doesn't have punyam papam. Malarahitam. All that comes under the category of malam. Anything I attribute to myself is malam. No, nirmalam. So papa punya rahitam. Therefore, ajaha, that which cannot be born. Because only if papam punyam is there, birth will be there. Otherwise, there is no birth. Therefore, atma ajaha, ajo nitya shashvatoyam puranaha. Bhagavad Gita. Second chapter. So, that is why. And then amartyaha, mrityuhu na vidyate iti. Amrityuhu, all that will come. So, that nirmalam. That is that nirmalam. Brahma is what? A nirmalam. Aham nirmalam Brahma iti. I am the Brahma which is nirmalam. You can use some translation. Once we start translating, we get into problems. I always struggle with translation. I try half the time I'm trying to figure out how to translate this. Somebody asked the question, how to translate. And I tell you that in our sannyasi group, somebody said, I want to translate this upachara. Upachara. Panchopachara puja. I think last class I mentioned in a different class. So everybody was giving some answer or the other. What is upachara? Somebody said. Somebody gave a chat GPT response and all that. And then I said, hey, this upachara word has no translation. Puja itself has no translation. How will you translate puja? English language is based on Christianity and English go together. There is worship. They have worship. But our puja is murti puja. They have banned murtis. Thou shalt not worship an image made of hands, they said. So my puja and their worship don't go together at all. Anyway, I didn't give this lecture in that group. All I said was, the best translation for upachara is upachara. Because he wanted to address all these foreign students, right? Upachara. Just say it's upachara. Puja, karma, papa, punya. Like that you should say. That is the translation of punya. So, let them understand that these are all unique to our dharma. It doesn't exist anywhere else. You don't act as you just leave it like that. Then they will understand you better, in fact, if you leave it like that. Otherwise, they try to map it to something. It's not mappable. It's not mappable. So, aham nirmalam brahma iti vidyāt. Aham aksharam nirmalam brahma iti vidyāt. Okay, all the opposites we can bring here. Yeah, I think that covers this particular aham. Hey, aham is drishyam. No, the śarīrādi drishyam. Aham adrishyam iti vidyāt. Means, what do you mean by adrishyam? Hey, drishyam is object. Then who am I? I am the subject. It is not enough to simply say subject object in grammar sentence. That is not enough. And it is supposed to point me to the subject. Aham, the subject. I am the subject. Like that, the mind should appreciate. Like that, Shankara is saying. Let's translate the shloka. The body, etc., are objects the body, etc., are objects. Objects. Yeah, that's good enough, I think. Born of ignorance. And impermanent like bubbles. Okay. Body, etc., are objects born of ignorance and impermanent like bubbles. One should understand that. One should understand that. Now everything is going to come in quotes, quotation mark. One should understand that I, within brackets, the subject. I, the subject, am the taintless Brahma. I, the subject, am the taintless Brahma. Taintless Brahma, distinct from those, or distinct from these. I, the subject, am the taintless Brahma, distinct from these. Close quotation mark. Okay. And I put the phrase the subject, right? Because object is there. So distinct means the subject. All right. Let's read this. The body, etc., are objects born of ignorance and impermanent like bubbles. One should understand that I, the subject, am the taintless Brahma, distinct from these. Okay, shloka number 32. Okay. Dehanyatva me janma. Yeah, if you can unmute yourself.
You are muted, Anitaji.
Yeah, Anitaji, if you can unmute yourself, it will be easier for us to hear. Yeah. Dehanyatva me janma.
देहान्यत्वान्न मे जन्म
Jara karshalayadayah.
जराकार्शलयादयः
Shabdadi vishayai sangaha.
शब्दादिविषयै सङ्गः
Nirindriyataya nacha.
निरिन्द्रियतया न च.
So we're going to chant it once again.
Yes.
And except this time, the first line has to be chanted without pausing. We split the janma from the janma jara. The janma jara karsha laya deha is one word, actually speaking. Therefore, we will do it that way now. Dehanyatva me janma jara karsha laya dayaha.
देहान्यत्वान्न मे जन्म जराकार्श्यलयादयः
Good. Shabdadi vishayai sangaha.
शब्दादिविषयै सङ्गः
Nirindriyataya nacha.
निरिन्द्रियतया न च.
So now if I understand that śarīrādi vilakṣaṇaṃ, in the previous shloka he said, āvidyakaṃ śarīrādi vilakṣaṇaṃ aham brahma asmi. I am different from the body. That means everything that I have, everything that I think I am, which are actually attributes of the body, should not be attributes of myself, correct? My real self, quote unquote, of Brahman. That is what he's saying here. And so, dehanyatvat, because I am other than the body, means other than body, mind, sense, complex, everything, because I am other than the body, then what will be the consequence? Name janma. Name janma means one shloka is coming. Pita naiva me naiva mata na janma. That's what he's saying. Name janma. Hey, I cannot have birth. Why? Because śarīrādi has birth. No doubt about that. śarīrādi has a birth. There is a date of birth. Everything is correct. And jātakam and this, that, everything is correct. Gotra, okay, that is also correct. But that applies only to śarīrādi. But the minute I say śarīrādi vilakṣaṇaṃ aham nirmalam brahma asmi vidyāt, then I have to become ajaha. Ajaha. So name janma. Okay. And then jara, karshya, laya, āvidyakaṃ is giving a list of things. Janma, jara. Jara is old age, aging. Jara is not old age, really speaking. Okay, it has been called as old age. The process of aging. I suppose, when does old age start? Suppose I ask you. What will be the answer? Is there some particular age after which it's called old age? These days you should not use the word old age also. That is also not correct. Seniors you should say. They're all seniors. Senior age you should say, I think. I don't know what they say. But when does it start?
When you start
I will tell you.
you're old. When you start thinking that you're old.
Good. That is what I was expecting. When you start thinking that you're old, that is when old age starts. Correct? In other words, when age becomes a big problem in my thought, when age occupies my mind, my mind is occupied by a lot of things. When age also enters, that's when jara should start, I think. That's how we should create. Among us, we should create a definition for jara. But that doesn't mean that when I'm 40 and I'm worried about age, I go to a geriatrist. The geriatrist will say, why did you come here? Because she has a different idea of jara. And so you have to make sure you connect with. Will you see me? I'm only 40, but I think I'm old. Will you see me or not? Like appointment. The assistant will get confused. No, you ask the doctor all these questions. Don't ask me all these questions.
Any connection between jara and geriatrics? You don't know.
No, you don't know. Nahi. Yeah, hey, there is a connection. Geriatric comes from jara. You please do your research. It is the same thing. It is not the accidental. Accidental nahi hai. So, anyway, that's besides the point.
Big business.
Jara, karshya. Okay, jara is age, right? Oh, okay, senior age. Okay, advanced age, whatever. That is an attribute of śarīrādi. Janma is an attribute of śarīrādi. Jara also. Janma means jara. He is listing jara. That karshya. I think you all can recollect now what he's doing, right? He's giving different words for the same shadvikaraha only. Jayate, asti, vardhate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, vinashyati. This is the law. There is a Vedangas. There are Shadangas, Vedangas. So Shiksha, Vyakaranam, Kalpam, Niruktam, and then Jyotisham and something else. Chandas. Chando, Jyotisham iti. Chandas. These are all the Angas, means these are the things that have to be understood by us properly before we begin studying the Veda. Shiksha, pronunciation. Like this, so much well established. And in one of the Angas is Niruktam. Niruktam means a study of all words, not the usual Sanskrit words that Sanskrit people know, words that Sanskrit people don't know and that appear in the Veda, which are all unusual words. That book is called Niruktam. That study is called Niruktam. And the author of Niruktam is Yaska. And this Yaska Muni, he uses this. He says, Shadvikaraha, he brought somewhere. All our bodies and all undergo this six modifications. Asti means, that body has to be present in the womb. Only then birth is possible. So that presence is called asti. Jayate, born. Vardate, grows. Viparinamate, modifies itself. Apakshiyate, declines. And then vinashyati, passes away. Okay? That Yaskas, Shadvikara, everybody quotes. Shankara quotes. Other people quote. Tikakaras quote. It has become like the ultimate. So beautiful. That is enough for us. Shadvikaraha. So that is what Shankara is rephrasing. So Janma is saying Jara. Jara is what? Which of the Shadvikara is Jara? Now you have to say, because Jara word doesn't appear. So apakshiyate. So apakshayaha may be Jara. Because decline, decline. And but then Karshya. There's the word Karshya, Shankara says. Karshya means Krisha. Krishoham. I am thin. I am thin. So why? What's your problem? Everybody wants to become thin. They're all the Weight Watchers and all. They're joined and then they're trying to lose weight. To become thin, they're not able to become thin. So you should be happy if you say I'm thin. No, I'm thin and I'm thinning. Thin is okay. Thinning is a bigger problem than thin. So here Karshya. Krishasya bhavaha Karshya. Karshyam. Anyway, that thinness is called Karshyam. Thinness. So that also can go with viparinamate, maybe viparinama. Changing, Then Karshya laya. Laya is maranam. Vinashyati, that vikara is referred to by Shankara as laya in this case. Laya means maranam. Ādayaha. Ādayaha, etc. Etc. means anything else you want, you can fill it up. And they're all properties of the body. They cannot be the property of aham, nirmalam, brahma. Not possible. That's what he's saying here. Why? Because deha anyatvat. Dehat binnatvat. Or deha binnatvat. Sthula sharira, sukshma sharira, karana sharira, binnatvat. Anyatvat. Being different from deha. Different from Deha is very clear. Only thing I don't know is, I am clear I am different from the body, but I am not clear who that I is. That clarity is not there. That is why we are studying all these things. And so, he is saying, Ādayaha. Paramarthanandaji, Swamiji says, Punarapi Jananam, etc. Adi Padat. Punarapi Jananam, etc. All that will come. Anyway, it's past 7:30 here, so I should stop, I think. So we'll continue the shloka number 32, which is an extension to 31. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.